Hi everybody, it's Julie, Kansas City girl in a Colorado world, and this is a Flosstube Special Edition. I want to show all of the things that I have finished, but have not fully finished. At least that was my original intention, right? I have this box that overfloweth with finishes that I haven't fully finished. But then I decided I really want to fully finish these. So I kind of got this idea of like, maybe I could do like a before and after. Like maybe I can go through my box of finished things and then over the next like week or two, see how many I can finish. And then I can edit in clips of the fully finished project or product. So, I don't know. I thought it'd be like a fun twist instead of just holding up a bunch of things that are like finished, but which it's still fun to look at, but like not as exciting as a fully finished. I thought let's do a little bit of both. So I'm going to keep this moving really quickly because I have a lot of projects I've got to get through. And full disclosure, I don't remember the names of some of these projects. I'm sorry. If they are ones that get selected for fully finishing, I will make sure in that clip to give like the title of the project. I have accumulated many frames, so I think that I'm going to be able to get a lot of these done. And some of them I'm going to do like flat fold finishes or, you know, some other pillows, things like that. So the reason I have so many before we jump in, just want to like explain a little bit, like why do I have so many of these? Well, historically, I have tried to fully finish my projects like in a timely manner after I finish stitching them. However, in 2022, or was it 2021? I can't even, what is time? I think it was 2022. In 2022, we got rid of like a lot of our possessions, put the rest in storage, and moved into a travel trailer and lived on the road for a year and a half. And so all of my finishing supplies, all of my frames, things like that were in storage. So I was stitching a lot, but I wasn't able to fully finish everything. I did still fully finish several things, even in my tiny little home. But anyway, the projects just piled up. Also during that year and a half, I took on a personal challenge to try to finish a ton of old whips. I was trying to finish 40 before 40 while I was 40, I think was, what is time? I don't know. It's been a while. So anyway, I didn't hit 40. I think I got like 32 or something. So I finished a whole bunch of things and the box just kept piling up. It just kept piling up. So I've got a lot of things. Like I said, I'm going to go through these rapid fire and I'm not going to, some of them are 2 or 3 years old. I'm not going to remember all the details. So I'm just going to try to keep it quick. If you desperately need to know something, just leave me a comment and I will figure it out. All right. This is Barbara Anna Snooty Parrots. This is on a 40 count R&R in the color Stars Hollow blend. And I used my own flosses and I made a bunch of substitutions. I recharted like the complete bottom third of the chart, basically. I've explained this in a recent Flosstube, so if you're curious, go check there. This is another new finish from a 2018 whip. This is Barbara Anna Rampant Cats Sampler. And this is stitched with DMC on a 32 count linen that I tea and coffee dyed. Or it's a Jobelin. I think it's an even weave. Called for DMC.
This frame is a little tight, but I really don't mind. I think with this piece it's fine. I actually really like it.
This is Owl Forest Embroidery Kikimora. This is a kit, so it's their floss, and the fabric is a 32 count Witchelt.
This is the third Owl Forest kit that I've completed and framed in this exact frame. It's a shadow box from Michaels. I've got one more to stitch and I'll have completed the set of 4.
This is Forbidden Fiber Company, The Chance to Fly. This came as a kit, so it's their linen, or Jobelin. I think the color is called Lucky, and then their own floss that came in the kit.
I actually couldn't believe I found a perfect frame for this. This is a home interiors frame. They are my favorite frames at the thrift store for like really cheap, but that they're not the standard sizes. So for fun, unusual sizes, the home interiors of the 90s, the decorative prints, they come in unusual sizes and the frames are always like really nice.
This is Raven's Needlebook by Lindy Stitches. It also came as a kit. You just had to supply your own DMC, which I did. 32 count Lugana, I think in Silver Moon. And this will definitely be a finish because I've got all the equipment to do that.
So I have to say, this was super easy to put together and the instructions were very nice. It came together so fast, super easy. I will definitely be making some more needle books.
This is Not Forgotten Farm, Sisters of the Broom. It's stitched on 40 count Picture This Plus Meyer, one of my favorite Halloween fabrics, and it's the called for DMC. This is a classic. I cannot find a frame for this one, so you're not going to see this finished unless I get really lucky in the next week at the thrift store. This is And a Forest Grew by Rosewood Manor. It is stitched with all the called for DMC on 40 count flax, which is a fiber that is, I believe it's linen and cotton or some kind of blend. It gives kind of like an oatmeal look to it. I love this one. I don't want to pay for the custom frame because it'll be very expensive because it's a big piece, but I cannot find one that is just right. I remain ever vigilant and hopeful.
Well, I got lucky. I cannot believe I found a frame for this. It's not perfect. The margin at the top and bottom is just a little bigger than the sides, but I really don't mind. I actually bought paint to paint this, but once I got it in the frame, I kind of like the gold. So I don't think I'm going to paint it just yet. I might just live with the gold for a while. This was by far the hardest frame for me to find, but I found one at the last minute.
This is Modern Folk Embroidery, Fruit of Plenty. This was the stitch along in 2021, I think. I've got the year on here. Yeah, 2021. It's on a 40 count Fortnite fabrics. They're no longer dyeing fabric. And I used 2 Valdani silks. I don't remember what they were called. I love this one. It's also kind of an unusual size, and I've really struggled to find a frame for that one, but I think I might have found one.
Another one that has been really hard to find a frame, and you can see this isn't perfect. The margins on the side are absolutely too wide, but I just was tired of having it folded up in a bin. So I'm going to keep my eye out for a frame that is just a little less wide, but this was just one of those that I can't find a custom frame, and it's really expensive to order a custom frame for this one because it's a long piece. So I'm going to live with it for now. It also was extremely hard to frame this and get it even, and I didn't get it perfectly even, but I laced this so many times. It's on a Fortnite fabric, and unfortunately the fabric is just a little bit stretchy and wonky, so it was incredibly hard to get those lines to look straight. They're not perfect, but you wouldn't believe how much I fiddled with this one.
This is Kathy Barrick's Rachel Deardorff. No, it's called Christmas Day 1826. The sampler says Rachel Deardorff. And this was a conversion from Country Sampler in Spring Green, Wisconsin. So they provided the floss and the fabric in a kit, but it is different from how the original looked.
Another one that's very tight framing, but I it's fine. It's such a little piece, and it's just going to be probably displayed at Christmas, and I'm just not too precious about it. Definitely a tight frame, but I kind of like it, so I don't mind.
This is my sister's finish. It's not even going to fit in the frame, but I did find a frame for this, so you will see this better once I have it framed. This was a pattern she got on Etsy. Look at this thing. It's like almost life size. It's 14 count Aida, which is why another reason it's so big. But this pattern it's absolutely massive. Look at this thing. Like literally, if I stand her next to me, she's like like the size of an actual child. I did find a frame at the thrift store that will work. I think is going to work for her.
As you can probably imagine, this was quite the ordeal to frame, but I found this custom frame at the thrift store. I think I paid $14.99 for it because it's so big. But it was a custom frame from, I think it was from Hobby Lobby. So whoever originally had this frame probably paid a pretty penny. But if it's this piece perfectly.
I don't have information on, it was an Etsy pattern. I don't know. This is a Tiny Modernist pattern. I assume it's called Let It Snow. My sister also stitched this. It's on 14 count black Aida with DMC. I love this. I love everything Tiny Modernist does. And now I've got my sister like really into Tiny Modernist as well.
I'm actually really sad I have to give this to my sister because it came out so cute. And I love it. She requested just a simple flat hanging display. It is so cute. Wish I could keep it. Might have to stitch it for myself. This is a bonus finish. I received this after I had started my video. This is the Tiny Modernist. My sister stitched this on a 14 count Aida with the called for DMC. And I finished this into a flat fold for her.
This is another one my sister stitched, and it is an Etsy pattern. It's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I don't know the designer, but it says, "Merry Christmas, shitter was full." Cousin Eddie. She had a lot of fun stitching that one.
This is gonna get back to my sister just in time to be displayed for the Christmas season.
All right, this is Tiny Modernist Forest Friends. This was a stitch along on her Patreon in the spring. I do not know if you can get this pattern. I think if you join her Patreon, you can get like access to where you can purchase older patterns that were exclusive. Otherwise, it'll be on, she'll release it at some point. It's stitched on a mystery, like 30 count linen with the called for DMC. This is Sprouting Lupine Twilight. I think it's called Twilight Nature Walk. It is on a random linen that I dyed myself, but I do believe I used all of the called for colors. If I changed anything, it was only because maybe it wasn't looking right on the fabric, and so I might have tweaked it, but I think I might have used the called fors. This stitched really fast. I absolutely love that.
Here is a bonus. This is Witching Hour Nature Walk over here. I stitched and finished that after I had filmed my initial video. So I finished these both the same on little cardboard boxes that I got either from Michael's or Joann's, and they fit just absolutely perfect on those boxes. They look great.
This is another one I have been struggling to find a frame for. I just keep hoping I will find one, and it's always like too short or something's wrong. I'm struggling to find a frame for this one. This is from Park Hopper Bart. It's called Be Merry All. I got it through Evertote, I think as a PDF. I did not use the Evertote floss pack. I used floss from Stash, but kept it like to where it looked the same. And the linen is, I'm pretty sure it's a fox and rabbit. I think it's called eucalyptus. And I love this one, and I cannot find a frame for it. And I hope I find one by Christmas. so that I can actually put that up this year.
I never did find a frame for this, so I finally just gave up and did a flat finish, and it came out super cute. Put some bells up on a hanging cord there, and then the back is this beautiful Christmas fabric I had in stash. It looks great. Just couldn't ever find a frame that would fit that one.
This is Barbara Anna. I can't remember the name of it. It's it was from a Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, and this is an old like 28 count Witchell linen, and I used the called for DMC. This was also from a Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. It's from, I think it's Heart and Hand, and it's something like Christmas Cardinal, something like that. And I stitched it on another old like Witchell linen, and I think I changed the colors. I think in the magazine these are brown and the bird's red, and I think I made mine white so they look more like aspen or birch trees. I love that.
I did look this one up. It is Heart and Hand Winter Cardinal Etching.
Oh, these are just a little backstory. These were Christmas stitching that I had already finished years ago. And while my stuff was in storage, we had one issue when we got our stuff out of storage, which I was shocked. Like everything was in really great condition. We had one issue. I had put some cross stitch finishes in a Christmas tote, like in my Sterilite Christmas tote. Thought everything was secure. I had everything wrapped up, but I had a snow globe in there in that tote, also wrapped up and at the bottom of the tote. So I didn't think anything of it. Well, the snow globe leaked, and just having like that moisture in there, it got mold on like everything that was in the tote. So I have some cross stitch that I tried to salvage from the tote, and I like gave it a thorough washing, and I threw out like everything it had been finished on. And so now this all needs to be like refinished. So if any of these look familiar, it's because they were previous finishes. So this is Heartstrings Samplery Baby It's Cold Outside. So you can see I like had, you can see where I had it glued before on luckily like there wasn't mold on the stitching. It was just on like the frame. So I just threw all that out. This is 36 count Picture This Plus Ale, I believe. And I think I used the called for colors on that. This one is Little House Needleworks or Cottage Garden. Is it Cottage? What's the other one? Country Cottage. Little House Needleworks or Country Cottage. I get them mixed up. These are both, one is by one and one is by the other. They're both stitched on petite point 32 count linen using like the called for colors. This one is The Most Wonderful Time of the Year. So cute. And this one is, I think, called Merry Christmas, My Dear. This one, unfortunately, I did get, the red floss did bleed when I washed this. I think I might restitch the white, like where it's the most obvious, or I might not. I might just finish it and be like, you know what, who cares? But you can definitely see there's some red and pink like bleeding in that area for sure. So that floss was not color fast. I think it was the classic Color Works.
This is big, but isn't it cute? Can't wait to hang this up this season.
But I'm not 100% sure on that. This is from Shepherd's Bush. This was a kit, so I do have the finishing supplies for that. It's called To All a Good Night. And so like I said, it was a kit, so I used like the floss and the fabric that came with it, and I'm going to finish it as a cute little pillow. It came with some buttons too.
Like I said, this was a kit, so it came with the backing fabric, the chenille trim, and the little buttons and beads, and all the floss in the fabric. I love the Shepherd's Bush kits. They're very well done.
This is one that I finally like kind of gave up on the pattern. I can't remember what it is. It's, I think it's a Little House Needleworks. And I just kind of realized I just didn't have a lot of interest in finishing this. So I'm going to, I don't remember what the fabric is. I think I'm gonna like rip this out and just make this like a little pillow. Will I do that this video? I don't know, you'll know soon.
All right, super old whip. It was a UFO, but now it is a finish. So I unpicked some of the extra stitching and now it says, "We shall have snow." And it's a cute little pillow.
This is Nikki's Creations. It's on a 40 count linen, and I can't remember what the pattern is called. It's a Christmas pattern. And I subbed floss in for like, it called for DMC. So I found fancy floss in Stash that was similar. I think this is Sampler Gold from Color and Cotton for the fabric.
This is a Mill Hill Buttons and Beads 6-inch frame. It just fit this perfectly.
This was from last Christmas. There was like one of the cross stitch magazines had a set of like Hanukkah patterns, and this was one of the 4 that I stitched. It says, "I love you a lot, Kay." And it's a 14 count Aida. This is Primitive Hair Christmas at Orchard House. It's stitched with the called for DMC on a 32 count Picture This Plus linen in the color, I believe it is Relic. This is Cottage Garden Samplings, Peace on Earth. This is on a witch shell, like a 32 count maybe. And I used some of the called fors and then I subbed from Stash, but I kept like the look of the called for.
Another one I'm so glad to have done and will be able to display for Christmas this year.
Oh, this was another one of the Christmas snow globe victims. This is a Star Wars pattern I got on Etsy ages ago, and it was in a frame, and the frame was damaged, so I need to redo this one as well. And also this one, the white DMC is now just slightly pinkish, but I'm not restitching this one, so I do love it. It's one of my favorite patterns I've ever stitched. I love it. It's actually what got me into cross stitching originally. Random story, like I had dabbled in cross stitch with like Thomas Kincaid, Disney Dreams, like, which are not beginner friendly cross stitch. I had dabbled and I hadn't like gotten the bug for it. And then I was on like the Reddit cross stitch and someone showed this, and I was like, I didn't realize cross stitch could be so cool. So I went and got this and went to like the craft store and got the supplies, and that is when I like actually started to love cross stitch. Okay, this is Imkissa Creations. I can't think of what the name of the pattern actually is. It's a Practical Magic pattern, but I can't remember the title. It's stitched on a linen that my friend Diana dyed and gifted to me, and I used floss from Stash for this one. I love this one. I don't know why I can't think of the name of it right now. This was Lucy Beam. I think it was in Punch Needle Imperative Stitcher magazine, and it's Friends Are the Flowers of Life. I think it's called Friends Are Flowers. This is on a it's like a 25 count. I think it's a Be Stitch Me from a box. And I sewed on some buttons that I got at museums in the UK. I can't remember exactly which ones. Like, I want to say maybe in Oxford. These little ceramic buttons. So cute. I need to finish that.
I just made this into a big pillow. Like a really big pillow, but I think it's really cute. Just a big oversized pillow. I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I love it.
This is a Innocent Bones kit. Is a plastic canvas kit. I'm not sure if I can like put this in a frame. I'm not really sure how to finish something like this. But it was a kit that came with the pattern and the floss and the plastic canvas.
At the end of the day, I kept it simple with these plastic canvas kits. They actually fit in like a diploma size frame, not an 8x10, but I think it's an 8x11.5. So easy peasy.
This was also a kit. I think it's from Rovaris. It's a Pride and Prejudice kit. It's Obstinate Headstrong Girl, and you make this into a bookmark. And I think I have the equipment to do so.
So, like I said, this was a kit. It came with the clamps and the charms and the ribbon. All I did was add a backing fabric, and it's not perfect. I got a little bit off when I was sewing, but who cares? It's a fun, cute little bookmark.
I think it was just with DMC. This is from D's 20 Stitches and Uncanny Kari, I believe, or maybe this one was just D. I can't remember right now. I can't think of what the name is, but it's a trans merman, and I used the called for DMC, and it's a 14 count Aida that I dyed myself. And my friend Lolly sent me some fabric for that one. Some of that, like the Alexander Henry sailor fabric. So I've got options for how I'm going to finish that one. Oh, this was a big finish. This is Brenda Gervais with Thy Needle and Thread. This is Heap on the Wood. I used primarily the called for colors, except for some of them did not show up on the fabric, so I did have to change it just to get it to show up. And this is a 32 count Picture This Plus. I can't remember the name of the color.
I absolutely love how this came out. It is a little bit tight on the framing. You can see that border is right there, but this is a standard size frame. And so I was able to get this for a song. And I would have had to pay quite a bit to get a frame that was slightly bigger. So I don't even mind the tight framing. I think it works perfectly. I love this. I think it came out fabulous.
We're gonna go forever. This was from a Just Cross Stitch Christmas ornament issue, maybe 2022, maybe probably 2023. I don't know for sure. I believe this one was from the Heart Needle Art Wendy, I think. It was in the ornament issue. It's on that 20 count petite point Aida. And I didn't use the called for floss. I just used floss from Stash.
I misspoke. This is Needle Bling Designs, and it's called Santa Moon, and it was in the 2023 Just Cross Stitch ornament issue.
That was, I stitched that with my full moon stitchers. This is an Etsy pattern. I don't remember who it's by. I don't remember what it's called. It is also a National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation pattern. And it's on it's white floss with 14 count Aida.
The most quotable Christmas movie, definitely my favorite, National Lampoon Christmas Vacation.
This was another Tiny Modernist Christmas, or another Tiny Modernist stitch along. It was released, I think it was the Jingle Ball 2023. This is a 25 count it's a 25 count fabric. What is it called? It's not Lugana, is it? Is it Lugana? I don't know. From a Be Stitch Me box. And I did mostly use the called for, but I think I had to substitute one or two things to get them to show up. I love this. It was just like a four-part Christmas stitch along.
Y'all, I know it looks fine at first glance, but I was fighting for my life trying to get that border straight. I redid it so many times. It's a 25 count fabric, so it's very loose and stretchy. And yeah, I mean, at some point I had to say this is as good as it's gonna get. But it was a struggle. It looks amazing though, overall. I love it.
I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video, these are in no order whatsoever. This is Castle Homecoming, the stitch along last year from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This is a 32 count even weave from Mystic Fabrics. I think the color is called Serene. It's mostly called for DMC, except for I did make substitutions to bring in metallic floss into the design. So it's a little different from the original.
So this is definitely a different frame for me, not one I would typically be drawn to. But I really like it for this piece, and I don't know why. It's a weird frame, but I like it. I think it looks great.
This box is just never ending. It never ever ends. This is Barbara Anna 4 Seasons. This was a kit exclusive to Nitka Moscow, but is now available. If you go to Barbara Anna's Instagram, there's a link where you can get this as a PDF. I did make, I changed their skin tones, but otherwise it was a kit with DMC and this fabric.
Oh, I absolutely love how this one came out. I think I forgot to say in the last clip, I did change the skin tones on 3 of the 4 ladies. They all had the same pale skin tone as this one. So I gave them all different skin tones just for some variety. But otherwise I used all of the called for kit materials, which I think was just DMC floss.
This is from Sampler Girl. It's the I think it's called Sense and Sensibility sampler. It's from Sampler Girl, and I used the called for DMC, and I think this is like maybe a 36 count. Picture this plus. You can see it was just a scrap I had that it just fit on.
Another one that, you know, it's not perfect, but it's done, and that's gonna be good enough. This little wooden hanger I got actually at the Picture This Plus store, which you can't even go in anymore, in Abilene, Kansas. I think they still dye fabric there, but you can't visit and buy things anymore. Anyway, this is, again, it's not perfect, but it's cute. I like it.
This one is Plum Street samplers. It's the Salem Sisters. There's 3, so I don't know if this is 1, 2, or 3. There are 3 patterns of the Salem Sisters, and I did not use. I don't think I used the called for. I just used stuff from Stash, and I dyed that fabric myself.
I did go look this up, and I think this was Salem Sisters 1. There's also a 2 and a 3, which I own and hope to stitch at some point.
This is from Uncanny Kari. This is, I think it's called Midnight Meeting at the Pumpkin Patch, something like that. Midnight at the Pumpkin Patch, I think is what it's called. I dyed this myself, but it's mostly just a charcoal Aida. I did change the 2 pinks because I wanted them to be like a little more hot pink. So I did like punch those 2 up. Otherwise it's the called for DMC.
This was a little hanging I got at Michael's years ago. I don't know if they still have it, but it was around Halloween time. And it's just supposed to look like a fence, like a broken, crusty fence. And it was already painted black. And it worked out just perfect for this. I don't know where, the orange pom-pom probably from Michael's as well.
This is a pattern that I kind of designed some of it, and the rest is Primitive Hair. So she has all of these pagan holiday freebies. They're like smalls that you could do. I did a layout of them where I made them into a wheel, and then I did design this part in the middle, the Year of the Witch, and like has the full moons and the pentagram. But the smalls surrounding it are Primitive Hair's design. And I did change the color on like all of them. I think they just called for DMC, and I used fancy floss. And this is a fabric, like a 32 count IT, and coffee dyed myself. This is Old Nantucket by Little House Needleworks. It's the called for floss, and it's on a 36 count Lakeside linens, vintage lintel.
All right, this was another one that I was fighting for my life to get this squared up and straight. And I this is as good as it's going to get. This is vintage lintel from Lakeside Linen. I don't know why. I don't have much of that. But I really struggled to get this fabric to straighten up. But I mean, I love the fabric. It's pretty, but this is as straight as it's going to get.
I just can't get to the end. They just keep going. There's more here than I thought. This is Satsuma Street Otoño. It means autumn. There's a series of 4 of these, all seasons. I used the called for DMC variations, and this was fabric I dyed myself. I loved stitching that one.
I loved stitching this, and I would like to do the Invierno, the winter version, hopefully in December. We will see. Okay, another bonus finish. This is Heartstring Samplery First, what is it called? I don't know. First I drink the coffee, do all the things. I can't remember. I had stitched this in 2017, and I had finished it in a way that I really didn't like, and I immediately knew it wasn't going to work for me. And then this sat in a closet for literally ever, for years. And then I finally found a frame that was just right. I don't generally like mats in my frames, but this one it fit too perfectly. And it matched, so I had to keep it. And now I can finally hang this in my house. It has been sitting since 2017, not shown off, which is just a travesty. So here's a bonus finish.
I love that color palette. This is a Nikki's Creations. It was in a Just Cross Stitch magazine a couple years ago. I think it was in like around the fall issue. And I used the called for DMC, and this is 40 count sampler gold from Color and Cotton.
Okay, I looked it up. This one is called Halloween Shepherdess by Nikki's Creations. It was in a Just Cross Stitch magazine. I don't know if you can get it outside of the magazine. And I used the called for DMC, and I think it's on a 40 count Old Massachusetts from Primitive Hair.
This is Autumn on Marigold Manor. I think it's Not Forgotten Farm. I didn't use the called for floss, but I substituted things from Stash that looked similar. And this is a mystery linen. This is Luna Love by Sprouting Lupine. It got a little smashed. This is not the called for floss. I did my own conversion. The original looks amazing. I just wanted to have some fun with it. So I changed all the colors. And this is just a charcoal linen, or charcoal Ada. This is from M. Kissa Creations. It's called Lovebirds. This was just a fun, quick little pattern to stitch up. I used the called for floss DMC. This is a mystery linen. I have no idea what it is.
So if you stitch this on, I think this is a 32 count, it fits in a 4x6 frame just perfectly.
This is, I think it's called You're the Person I Send My Memes To. It's by, I think it's not the name of her Flosstube, but I think the name of her designs is By the Light of the Moon Designs. And I did not use the called for, I used DMC Etoile, but like kind of the same look. And I stitched this for my friend Jenny, and I still need to send it to her.
All right, I also looked this one up. This is My Memes, My Heart by Light of the Moon. And I finished this into a cute little flat fold.
This is another one of the Innocent Bones kits. I have a third one. I bought 3 of them, and I finished 2.
Another one of those plastic canvas kits, super easy. There is nothing like just popping something in a frame and being done in 2 seconds. It's kind of nice. If only everything could be finished so easily.
This is a Barbara Anna from Punch, Needle, and Primitive Stitcher magazine a couple years ago. I don't remember if I used called for or not. And I don't know what this fabric is. Actually, I do. This is French Lilac from Pictures of This Plus.
All right, I also looked this one up. It is called Dreaming Queen Bee. It's Barbara Anna. It was in Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. I think it was the summer 2022 issue.
This is Elizabeth Adelsey from Hedgerow Stitching. And I stitched this for Betsy Klager, I think for her Stupid Tumor Sow. And it went really fast. This is a cute little sampler. It's a mystery fabric. And I do think I changed the colors, but I can't remember how much I changed them. Like if I just used stuff from Stash that was similar, or if I like really changed them. It was quite a while ago. This is Whistle Stop Stitcher Shamrock Alphabet, I think is what it's called. And I did not use the called for floss, I don't believe. And I made some changes. Gold and rainbow, I changed that from, it was just one floss. I put fun floss. I don't know what the linen is. It's a mystery.
Shamrock Alphabet by Whistle Stop Stitcher. I did a fun rainbow scallop or rickrack trim, and it's a quite large pillow. But that's how I finished her Christmas version of this pattern, so I figured I would just keep them all similar finish.
This is from Abby X Stitch. I think it's just called Audiobook Lover. Called for DMC on 14 count Aida. This is from the Sunflower Diaries. I don't know the name of the pattern, if it's just called Frida Kahlo or if it's called something else. This was a really old whip. I don't know the linen. I used Dinky Dice floss, but that's not what it called for. But I kept the color palette like as originally charted. Oh Lord. So much in here. This is a Black Needle Society pattern. It's called Moonrise Snail. It was a kit, and I've got all the stuff to finish it, so it looks like that.
So I think, like I said, this was a kit, so it came with all of this. I provided nothing except for my own batting, but I followed the directions and used all of the included materials.
This is Real Comfort from Modern Folk Embroidery. It's on a mystery linen. I did cut off the bottom. There's an alphabet down here. I didn't feel like stitching it. This is Emily Dickinson Birds from Wild Violet Cross Stitch. I also mystery linen. I have no idea what it is. I don't know. And the floss was Barbarall Creations, I believe, but it was limited edition. I love this one.
I really love this frame for this piece. Chef's kiss. How about another bonus finish? This is Lindy Stitch's Autumn Royalty. It's stitched on a 28 count band sampler from Nikki's Creations. And I've had it done, and I just needed to put something on the back and get some ribbon. And it's ready to go.
This is a Mill Hill kit. I don't even remember this being in here. There's no reason that shouldn't be finished. All I have to do is cut it out and put some felt on it. I didn't even remember that was there. I need to get that out for this season.
Another very easy finish. I just put some felt on the back and cut this out and glued a little handmade button to cover my cording.
This is Primitive Needle. This was a freebie called By the Light of the Moon. I think I might have used some of the called for on that. And if I didn't have it, I used something similar. It's a mystery linen. That was for my full moon stitchers.
All right. So I finished this as a simple flat hanging, and this is recycled silk sari ribbon.
The bonus finishes just keep coming. There are things that I stitched since I filmed my intro video and finished, or things that I forgot to put in that video. So this is Dracula's Confession by Lindy Stitches, and I found just the absolute perfect frame for this, and I love it. This was a kit I got at the VA in London. the Victoria and Albert Museum, the VA Museum. This was a William Morris kit. You're supposed to make it into a bookmark. It's just DMC and 14 count Ada.
Okay, another simple finish, because I actually would like to use this as a bookmark. So I literally just sewed some fabric, turned it inside out, closed it up, kept it like smooth and flat and simple.
This was Carolyn Manning. The pattern is Aurora. It comes with 4 smalls. I stitched one of the 4 with the DMC. I stitched this on plastic canvas.
This is by far the easiest finishing I did, and also hysterical that this has sat for months. All I did was glue some ribbon on this. I didn't even put backing on it. Took me 14 seconds.
This is another Barbara Anna. I think this was from Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine. I don't know what the linen is, and I don't know if I changed some of those colors. I think I at least kind of kept them similar. But I just feel like deep inside, I feel like I changed some of those.
Okay, this is called Summer Plant, and it was from Punch Needle Primitive Stitcher. I think it might have been the 2022 summer issue. Don't quote me on that, but it's Barbara Anna Summer Plant. I did a simple hanging flat finish.
This is Halloween Fairy from Nora Corbett. I definitely changed the colors on this. So the fabric is 32 count Elixir from XG Designs. I love this as a Halloween fabric. I definitely changed this one. I changed her skin tone first, but I changed her dress. The dress is like a taupey brown, and I just was inspired to make mine purple. And then I changed her wings. I don't know if you can see it, but there's some sparkle. Like blended some Krynic in there. So that is Halloween Fairy.
This is by far one of my favorite things I've stitched. The X-Jude fabric, just chef's kiss. I love it. I love my conversion. I love her.
This is Song of Nowruz by Marumi Designs. It's on mystery linen, and I used a Dinky Dyes silk for that.
Whoops. Okay, I think this is my final bonus finish. This was another one that I needed to reframe. I had framed it way back when, like probably 2017, and I didn't have the right size frame for it, and I was never happy with it, so it was never displayed. I finally found a frame that is appropriate sized. This was so long ago, I legitimately have no recollection of stitching this. I know I did, obviously I did, but I do not remember stitching this. It had to be 2017.
This is one of the trans rights statement banners from D's 20. There's, I believe, 3 or 4 out now. And I didn't use the called for floss, but I kept it kind of like similar. And it's a mystery fabric.
I think this came out so adorable.
This is, oh, I can almost see the bottom of the box. We're getting there. This is Peace, Love, and Purpose by Plum Street Samplers. This was a kit I think I got from Country Sampler. I don't think they changed anything though. I think they just kitted it up like with all the called for. So I don't know what it is, but it's all the called for. This is Ladyman 8, I think it's called Ladyman 1844 from Bindi Stitchy Designs. And it's the called for DMC mystery linen.
So this frame is so extra. It's so above and beyond. It's so ornate and ostentatious. It's just doing too much. And I think that that is absolutely perfect for this piece. It's kismet.
This is a Bindi Stitchy too. I don't remember what I think it's called My Valentine, or my Valentine Moon, or My Moon Valentine. And I didn't use the called for. I used stuff from Stash and that was like a quick, like 1-day stitch.
Okay, I checked. This one is called My Moon Valentine by Bendy Stitches. It is, oh, I need to lint roll that. Sorry. This is like a velvet, so it holds on to everything. This is super tiny, teeny tiny little pattern. It took me one night to stitch it super fast.
Oh, we're like on a run of Bendy Stitchy. This is another Bendy Stitchy. This is Hildy's Apothecary. Again, mystery linen. I don't know what this was, but obviously I used it for various things. I don't know what it was. I think I used the called for or similar on that one. I love that one.
Okay, isn't this frame just fabulous? Yes, it is. The framing is too tight. Some of the border got cut off, but I couldn't pass up this frame. I got it at Home Goods. It's really heavy. And I love it. And I was like, you know what? We're going to make this work.
Another Bendy Stitchy. This is, I don't remember. Winter Witch. It might just be called Winter Witches. It's on a sparkly Ada. I think it's from Under the Sea. And I don't remember. I think I subbed some of the flosses. Like if I didn't have it, I used something similar. They are so cute.
Oh, there you can see the sparkle. This fabric is so cute.
And I think this is the last Bendy. This is a CZ Mothman. This was from a Starlight Stitchery box booklet on 14 count Ada. All right, I think, so I have one, all right. We're on the last project. So I stitched, the Laurel Witch had a set, like an Advent stitch along years ago where she released a Christmas pattern for the 25 days leading up to Christmas. And I stitched them all because they were like small, like kind of manageable. I mean, some of them took a little longer, but they were, anyway, I stitched them all. Mostly kept up. If not, I caught up, but I stitched all these. And then I had this idea to finish them on these little ornaments. And then I never have. So I've got 5 of them like stretched and glued, but I still have 20 to go. And they're going to go on these wooden cutout ornaments. Like I'm going to glue those on and then do some kind of cord. So I just haven't ever gotten around to it because it's just an undertaking. And I think I should paint these, but I don't know. You'll see.
All right, we are finishing out strong. Yes. These have been the bane of my existence. I stitched these years ago and I was so intimidated to do 25 finishes. And I just let them languish year after year. And this year I said, come on, you have to get these done. So I did. I painted the backing. I cut twine. I put little bells. I loved stitching these. This was a free, at the time, it's not free now. It was a free stitch along and it was just insanely generous. And I really tried to stitch one of these a day and I mostly kept up. If I got behind, I would like catch up the next day. It was such a fun way to spend 25 days of December. And they are finally done. I absolutely love them. That's a wrap, folks.
So that's it. That is everything. Thank you for watching.